Global happenings today. We communicate, we analyze global news. Stay tuned.
Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to Global Happiness today. The showdown is about to begin. The Touts have made up their mind that it's either them or no one else. Soludo, Governor Soludo, Charles Soludo, is about to face the first challenge and first hurdle as a governor of a state. It's either he stands his ground or the Tout takes over, or we are going to have a parallel government as we're already experiencing in some part of Southeast already, with Imo State taking the lead over such. Before we go into the newspaper to find out the warning the tout in Anambra is given to Soludo ahead of time so that he does not get himself confused. We'd like you to subscribe to our channel by clicking on the red subscribe button. Beside it, you see bell notification icon. Please go ahead, click on it to get notified as soon as we update our channel on YouTube. Well, Tout, who had for years taken over the streets and markets in Onitsha, metropolitan city, have reacted over Governor Ojukwu Soludo's ban by snubbing him and going on with their normal businesses by selling tickets and collecting tolls from motorists. Investigation revealed that some of the leaders of the Tout who spoke advised Governor Soludo to focus. They told him to focus on other areas and leave the Tout in the state alone. They have also directed their members in different areas in Onitsha to deal decisively with any motorist who may want to obey the governor and refuse to pay their daily tolls and collect their tickets. Some of the drivers and tricycle operators who spoke to our correspondent said they were not ready to receive any beating, especially from any tout who may vandalize their vehicles as well. The touts may have shown that they are not ready to leave their source of getting money from the victims, who they oppress on daily basis across the state. As of Sunday, report has it how the touts descended heavily on an unidentified tricycle operator for refusing to pay park levy at the popular Unizik temporary site, Oka, Anambra State. It was said that the tricycle rider refused to pay the fees as demanded by the touts, reminding them that Governor Ojukwu Soludo had announced the ban on the activities of touts during his inaugural address on Thursday. The tout, numbering 3, had approached the tricycle operator and asked him to pay them the usual 200 naira, but he refused. He refused. According to an eyewitness, the tricycle operator, on hearing that, laughed and asked them to go and look for something else to be doing, as touting has expired in Anambra, except they were the only people who had not heard that Soludo had banned touting in the state. But the tout insisted and told him they were not ready for such jokes. His action angered the tout, who did not only seize his foot mats, but also forcefully pulled him out of his tricycle and started throwing punches on his face, while he grabbed and tightly held to one of them. However, before people could separate them, the tricycle operator's face, his cheeks, and his mouth were already swollen. Soludo had, during his inaugural address on Thursday, banned all forms of touting and cash payment of taxes in the state. The Commissioner of Police, Anambra State, has also directed officers to enforce the ban in the state, but some touts have said that they cannot because they have their share from the levy they collect daily and will not pose any danger in continuous collection of the money from motorists. And so they call this one trouble. Now let me just look at this analytically. I think we should also objectively look at this objectively, really. If the present governor of Anambra State, as Charles Soludo, fail to stamp his feet of authority now, believe me, he's going to have a parallel government in that state, Anambra State. If he doesn't stand tall and stand firm, he has given an inaugural speech insisting that there will not be touting, and these touts are already challenging him. Whatever he needs to do to ensure that his words are law on that ground, he had better do it, because if he doesn't do it, the one that Imo State is going through, where there's anarchy, is preamble with what he will see. A time will come sef the tout will not only collect money from motorists of vehicles, commercial vehicles, they will start collecting from private vehicles too if he doesn't stamp his authority now. He's what should be law under the ground because he's the executive officer, he's the chief security officer of that state. So that should even be scared of his words, especially when it comes to what they are illegal. He is legal. He's legitimate. He's legit. And why they are illegitimate? So if they're challenging him, this is not propaganda. This is not the time to begin to play politics. If you want them to stop, unfortunately, the only language Touts understand is force. You got to bring out all the necessary. You need to deploy all police or strategic places, maybe in parks where they usually collect their levies and tickets. You maybe put it in areas in streets, wherever it is they collect their levies and tickets. Better put them in their numbers, because the first form of insecurity, and another thing that may worry everyone, is that if these people you collect them business, I'm just being objective and also being a Nigerian here. If you collect them this touting business, which is right, because you cannot be wasting your internally generated revenue and be putting it in the pockets of the hands of few, and the state is crying that they're owing how many billion naira already. They need to repay those loans. So you can't be enriching individuals and the state is bleeding. Now, if you're going to take away these touts from the street and they don't have daily income, where to eat, what are you going to give them in the interim to work with? If you don't, these guys are going to take into stealing. There may be a high level of crime rate in Anambra State because those who were into touting and all of a sudden they don't have any job to do, you begin to see a high increase in pickpockets, will definitely increase in theft, maybe house to house, robbery may begin to be on the increase. So we have a situation in our hands. I believe that the state ought to have their incomes. You shouldn't be leaking, but these guys also are the citizens. We should find a way of rehabilitating them, get a job for them. Maybe if anybody wants to learn artisan work, but the fortunate part is this starting business. If you want to do the math, these guys are earning good money. Sometimes they collect 200 for one motorist. How many times do those motorists? But sometimes, about depending on how much they are in a state, they can be up to 200 cars, 400 cars in a day, plus tricycle, plus if there's bikes, plus when you calculate it 200 times maybe 200, or times that is times 400. Do the math. Every day minus tricycle. Sometimes the one they'll collect in this park is different from the one they'll collect in the other park, but they must pay daily. Sometimes these motorists pay as much as 1,000 naira from each different park so that they can have access to those places and move around, except you don't want to apply those routes. So you now see the level of money these guys generate, and what kind of artisan job are you going to give them that will give them that kind of money every day? It's going to be difficult, but I can assure you, if Soludo doesn't get it right now, Anambra is ready for another level of anarchy. That's what's going to wrap it up. Let's meet in our conversation, please. What's your take? Do have a nice